The set gleamed the way only New York morning light can. Blue glass panels glowed, the desk's edges clean and white, a coffee mug staged neatly beside a stack of cue cards. From the wings came the familiar swell of applause. Here we go. Meghan Markle stepped into it, cream blazer falling perfectly over a sleek blouse. The glow of the lights chased her to the guest chair. She shook hands, smiled for the cameras, crossed her legs with the practiced ease of someone who had done this thousands of times, and sat. "Meghan, welcome," Kelly Ripa said, her voice warm as sunshine. "Thrilled to be here," Meghan replied, teeth catching the light. The smile didn't reach her eyes. Mark Consuelos leaned in, relaxed. "You've had a big year. New projects, new partnerships. For folks just waking up with us, what's the big focus right now?" Her answer landed like a press release. Storytelling with impact. Elevating unheard voices, building platforms that move culture forward. The words were polished, the tone faintly metallic. Kelly nodded. "Impact is a great word. With your new season coming up, what themes excite you most?" "Agency," Meghan said, refusing to be defined by outdated systems. "Outdated systems?" Kelly repeated lightly, tasting the phrase. "Do you mean Hollywood or the bigger one?" Meghan's smile sharpened. "If a system survives by silencing people, age is just a number." A murmur moved through the audience. Mark absorbed it with a poker face. "Since you mentioned systems, you've spoken about control of your narrative. You stepped back from royal duties for privacy and health. Understandable, but you've also been very public. Interviews, series, memoir. How do you balance that?" Her exhale was a polished blade. "Privacy is not silence, Mark, it's agency. I decide what matters." That's not a contradiction. That's adulthood. Kelly's eyes tightened slightly. "Totally hear you. And there's also business. Trade papers say negotiations for the new season were robust. Some fans wonder, did you ask for significantly more?" Meghan laughed, pretty and pointed. "Isn't it funny how a woman asking market value becomes greedy while men call it vision? Compensation aligns with impact. That's not gossip. That's math." "So it's fair to say you pushed for parity?" Kelly asked. "It's fair to say we don't discount ourselves." Meghan folded her hands neatly, a period at the end of a sentence. Mark pivoted. "Let's visit the personal, only what you're comfortable with. Viewers admire your marriage as a team. Separate travel schedules get amplified online. Anything you want to say to quiet the rumors?" Meghan's smile cooled. "Teams divide and conquer. Adults have calendars. If strangers need more than that, I suggest a hobby." Nervous chuckles scattered. Kelly tried safer ground. "Okay, home life aside, your advocacy resonates. Mental health, women's leadership. What does success look like this year?" "Stories that don't ask permission," Meghan said, and closing the door on noise. Kelly weighed her card, then set it down. "Speaking of noise, you've been candid about the monarchy. Some say your tone sounds dismissive of tradition. Do you still feel that way?" Meghan sat taller. "Tradition without humanity is pageantry. I don't confuse costumes with character." The audience inhaled as one. Mark's voice stayed velvet. "Do you see any path to reconciliation with the family?" "Fans hope for it. Reconciliation begins with truth, not choreography," Meghan replied. "I don't perform apologies." Kelly's smile thinned. "You've said your truth many times. Others involved say their facts differ. Timelines, details. Is there room for people to stop nitpicking my life?" Meghan cut in, still smiling. "That would be refreshing." It thudded on the studio floor. Kelly let the silence sit, then tried again. "We ask because we care. Context helps." "Context is often a velvet rope," Meghan said. "It keeps certain people inside the story and others out. I'm inside mine." Mark gave the camera a glance. "Then let's give you that space. What do you want people to understand that they never seem to get right?" "That I don't owe them a performance," Meghan said without blinking. "I share because I choose to, not because strangers are entitled to inventory my life." Kelly's ring caught a shard of light as she folded her hands. "And because this is also a show about breakfast table honesty, do you ever wish a phrasing had been gentler? A moment handled with more grace?" Meghan considered. "Grace is sometimes code for be smaller, I don't do smaller." The line skittered across the desk like ice. Mark nodded thoughtfully. Kelly drew a breath. "One more businessy thing before the break. Some critics say the royal title opens doors even as you critique the monarchy. Is that tension for you? Meghan's smile returned, camera perfect. If a name opens a door, it's because the room wants me there. Tension isn't my problem. That belongs to whoever resents the invite. Heads turned in the risers. Mark smoothed the air. We're going to pause. When we come back, some rapid fire from viewers and a sneak peek. Lovely, Meghan said, though the word landed like a stamp, not a sentiment. Music rose. Applause flashed. In the half-shadow of reset, a makeup artist approached and quickly retreated when Meghan lifted one palm. Kelly stared into the middle distance of live TV where charm and honesty collide and one has to move. 30 seconds, came the booth voice. Mark sipped coffee. You good? Kelly's smile was complicated but real. Always. Meghan shifted, gaze hardened for whatever came next. The tally light bled to red. Welcome back, Kelly said brightly. We're here with Meghan Markle, who's been sharing insights into her projects and perspectives. Yes, Meghan said smoothly. And it's important people hear me rather than distorted noise from tabloids, or sometimes from mainstream interviews. The dart aimed directly at Kelly. She swallowed it with calm. Absolutely. And that's why we value these conversations. But Meghan, we do have to ask. Reports say you demanded a larger paycheck for the new Netflix season. Some outlets suggested production nearly stalled. How do you respond? The audience leaned in. Meghan laughed low, cutting. How predictable. A woman knows her worth and suddenly it's a scandal. Do you ever ask male executives why they negotiate? Or is fascination with my paycheck just another way of policing women's ambition? Kelly smiled tightly. Viewers are curious. It's a public project. They just want to understand. They want to tear down a woman who refuses to apologize for success. Meghan interrupted, tone icy. And frankly, Kelly, I won't play into that narrative. Kelly held her smile. Mark leaned forward. Let's broaden it then. What does success mean to you? Financial freedom, creative control, influence. Control. Always control. Meghan answered fast. I refuse to live under institutions that script my every move. Kelly tilted her head, voice light but pointed. Speaking of institutions, the monarchy. You've criticized it harshly, but many feel you benefited from its platform while condemning it afterward. Do you see the irony? The audience gasped. Meghan's smile flickered, then sharpened. Irony? Surviving a system while calling out its toxicity isn't irony. It's courage. People love to forget the cruelty I endured because it doesn't fit their fairy tale. Kelly pressed. But some would argue you embraced the visibility, the privileges, then discarded the responsibility. Kelly, being visible doesn't mean being safe, Meghan snapped. And responsibility? Don't lecture me about responsibility when I spent years protecting a family that wouldn't protect me. The audience was silent now. Mark tried again. It sounds like those years weigh heavily. Any chance of reconciliation? Reconciliation requires honesty, Meghan said coldly. Honesty has never been their strength. Kelly's patience frayed. When you speak this way, do you worry you're alienating people who might support you? That negativity toward the monarchy overshadows your work? Meghan laughed bitterly. If people care more about the monarchy's image than listening to my truth, they're not the supporters I need. Hesitant claps spattered. Kelly's tone sharpened. But don't you think it's fair for viewers to ask whether you're still benefiting from that same monarchy you call toxic? Titles, attention, platform. It all came from there. Sometimes it feels like you're cashing the checks while tearing down the bank. The studio froze. Meghan's eyes flashed. That's a lazy narrative, Kelly. I've built everything I have on my own terms. The fact people can't accept that is their problem, not mine. Kelly's jaw tightened. Mark quickly intervened. We'll circle back after the break. More with Meghan Markle in a moment. The applause light blinked, but clapping was scattered. Meghan adjusted her blazer like a shield. Kelly exhaled sharply, jaw clenched. Producers whispered frantically in the booth. When the red light returned, Mark smiled calmly. Welcome back. We're here with Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, discussing her latest projects. The applause was tepid. Meghan sat back, arms crossed, smirk daring anyone to challenge her. Kelly straightened, cards trembling slightly in her hand. All right, Meghan, she said firmly. Before the break, you spoke about control and survival. But let's be candid. Your Netflix projects make headlines not just for content, but for reports of contract negotiations. Can you clear the air? Celebrity PR? Doesn't that contradiction deserve to be